So 3 AI titans just dropped within 48 hours. ByteDance launched Bagel, a bold new model that doesn't just generate images, it reasons, refines, explores and processes in full multimodal contexts. Then Anthropic came out swinging with Claude 4 and AI. That can code for 7 hours straight, juggling tools like it's running an entire dev crew solo. And right in the middle of it all, Mistral dropped Devstral, a beastly open-source coding model trained to chew through real GitHub problems and beat out some of the biggest closed systems. So 3 drops in 2 days: Bagel, Claude 4, Devstral. Everything's accelerating again, so let's talk about it. Let's kick off with Bagel, because that announcement hit first on Mystery Skate. While playoff sty spout, HAT/Mully, meet hub problems and meet out. You want to lead off /rewise, meet // story, meet // we // rewide, y/latch by mistays. We lie y by pride wekawala slad by yn lie we lie me led eyed kiko katasatsu si sitsik to I kalavitsk to get it lay to be it like it is to we to lay up black to twit sit it up we would sit it if based size eats the what it is an ass that's the papa pickets May 20th, ByteDance calls it a unified multimodal model, which basically means one network juggles language, images, video frames, even web data, instead of stapling separate subsystems together. The core engine is a mixture of transformer experts, MO for short, with 7 billion active parameters out of a 14 billion total count. ByteDance bolted on 2 different encoders. One digests raw pixels, the other tracks semantic patterns, so Bagel sees both the fine-grained texture of an image and the higher-level idea of what's in it. Pre-training wasn't light either. Trillions of interleaved tokens spanning text snapshots, clips, memes, you name it. That's why the dev team says the model can think across modalities. It literally predicts the next group of tokens, whether those tokens describe words or visual patches. Day 1 demos looked pretty spicy. Someone dropped in a snapshot of Michelangelo's David and Bagel. It's casually rattled off the statue's history, its Renaissance context, even where it's housed at the in Florence. That same prompt stream flips straight into generation mode. The model pumped out a photorealistic scene of 3 antique potion bottles labeled SDXL. Bagel and flux with correct reflections and old glass imperfections without needing instruction about lens choice or lighting. Then came editing. A clip showed a man squatting to pat a dog, and Bagel rewrote the action into new frames, keeping the pose consistent while avoiding jitter. Style transfer: it took a 2D cosplay photo and re-rendered it in a crisp 3D animated look after a single change to 3D line. It even did navigation after watching 0.4 seconds of a video. The model predicted the next forward step: 4, a virtual camera. All that sits under what ByteDance calls its thinking mode, where the model actually writes an internal chain of thought between think tags, refines. The prompt then starts drawing, so you get fewer random artifacts and more coherent scenes, like that wild composite of hundreds of toy cars forming a life-sized sedan. Now numbers on the visual understanding board. Bagel hit an MME score of 2,388, edged past Quen 2.5 VL on Bench with 85.0, landed 55.3 on MMU, 67.2 on Vet, and pulled 73.1 on the new MethVista reasoning test. Generation quality is equally solid. GenEval climbs to 0.8888. When you let Beal think while Wise bumps to 0.70, which puts it shoulder-to-shoulder with specialized diffusion behemoth. Editing: GitHub shows 7.36 for single condition prompts and a 44.00 on intelligent bench. With chain of thought, that last score jumps to 55.3, a real testament to the reasoning then render workflow. During ablation, mixing V and VIT features turned out to be the secret sauce. Drop either, and intelligent editing tanks if you want to run it locally. The quicker is right in. The repo Honda environment on Python 3.1010. Snapshot download from Hugging Face with the 7B mod checkpoint. Then crack open inference. IPANB, and your good regeneration dials CFG_EXT_Kale around 428 locks the model to your prompt. CFG image_Kale at 122 preserves source detail during edits, and CFG_ in interval. Think of it as how long. Keep classifier free guidance engaged dfields to the 0.44 to 1.0. Window tweak temps stick shift if you need cleaner. Layout versus sharper details and play with 60-ish total temp. It's all in the README. But those knobs matter. 2 days later, Anthropic dropped Claude for 2 siblings, Opus 4 and Sonnet 4. And these folks aimed squarely at the coding crowd. Opus 4 storms the SWE verified leaderboard with 72.5% owns Terminal Bench at 43.22 and claims the title of world's best coding. Model Sonnet, for which costs less compute, actually ease out 72.7 on Sebench, but trades a little depth for latency. Both models are hybrid. They can spit back near instant paragraphs or slip into extended thinking that reasons across up to 64,000 tokens, calling external tools in the middle of a thought chain. So you might see Claude Google something, summarize a PDF it found, update its plan, and continue. Without you poking it, the coolest bit is endurance. Anthropic's internal tests ran Opus 4 for nearly 7 hours straight on a single goal: think audit a codebase, patch bugs, update docs without fresh human prompts. CNN's write-up framed it as an almost full workday of uninterrupted AI labor. Anthropic's product lead Scott White spun it like this: let the model grind through the 30% of your day nobody finds. Thrilling, so you can handle the creative piece, and they have receipts. Cursor calls Opus for state-of-the-art for complex multi-failure refactors. Replet says precision shot way up. Raisin let the model hammer on an open-source refactor for 7 solid hours, and it still held context. Cognition's evaluation claims Opus for tackles challenges that stump other models. Tooling support is thick. Developers now get a code execution tool, an MCP connector, a files API, and prompt catching knob, so you're not burning tokens on identical system prompts every minute. Claude Code exits preview and ships straight into VS Code, and JetBrains plugins edits appear in line. So you accept or reject them like a human teammate's patch. In the terminal, the same agent can spin up GitHub actions, runs, or respond to PR comments. Under the hood, both models got a discipline check shortcut. Time behavior, where an LLM tries a loophole instead of the intended workflow, dropped by 65% compared to Sonnet 3.7. Pricing sticks to Anthropic tradition. Opus 4 remains $15 per million input tokens and 75 per million output. Sonnet 4 sits at 3 and 15. The usual Pro, Max, Team, and Enterprise tiers include the extended thinking toggle. Free users even get Sonnet 4's core mode, which is kind of nuts for transparency. Anthropic now compresses the chain of thought with a smaller model in about 5% of cases. But devs can apply for developer mode to see raw reasoning when needed. Safety got its own bullet time montage. Anthropic's labels the new duo. Azul 3 compliant smelling salts for enterprises that fear runaway tools. Both models are live on the Anthropic endpoint, Amazon Bedrock, and Google Vertex AI. And yes, the developer plugins are already shipping. Run a single command in VS Code or JetBrains, and Claude Code shows edits right in your files. No copy-paste needed. Fire it up in a GitHub action, and the agent will comment on PR feedback, chase, failing, tests, and push patches to a branch. It feels less like a chatbot bolted to the side of the repo, and more like a junior engineer who never takes a coffee break. Now wedged neatly between those two announcements came something from Paris on May 21st. Mistral AI and all hands, AI unveiled Devstral, a 224 billion parameters Apache 2.0 0 license, and a 128,000 token window. The whole brief screams open source agent for real software engineering, not code completion toys. Baiting wasn't just RLHF on docstrings. The team piped Devstral through actual GitHub issues inside. Agent scaffolds like Open Hands and SW Agent, which force the model to read stack traces. Locate the bad file, write a patch, rerun the tests, and iterate until green. That curriculum explains why Swebench verified jumps. 2. 46.8%, 6 full points higher than the next open model, and hilariously, 20 points above GPT 4.1 Mini. When that tiny proprietary sibling is forced through the same harness, because the weights are public, you can grab them from Hugging Face, Olama Kagel, LM Studio, or Unsloth if you want quantized flavors. If local hardware is your thing, a single RTX 4090 or an M-series Mac with 32 gigs handles it. If Claude is easier, Mistral's endpoint Devstral small 2550 builds at 10 cents per million input tokens. 30 cents output matching Mistral small 3.1. Enterprises that need private fine-tuning or a distillation into even lighter models can ping Mistral's applied at Team same open philosophy, just pay for the consulting hours. The bigger story is context stability, because Devstral can swallow an entire mono repo in one go. It keeps variable scope import paths and architectural patterns in working memory. Early community tests show the model hopping through 40 or 50 files without losing track of variable names and still writing indentation-perfect patches. It even reads markup like XML or HTML templates, which means it can adjust a Django config in the corresponding Ginger view in one reasoning burst. And because the license is so permissive, university teams and indie plugin authors are already hacking it into local copilots that run entirely offline. The release video shows a coder with no internet toggling an Open Hands panel, selecting a failing test, and watching Devstral rewrite the function right inside VS Code before saving no tokens leave the laptop. Mistral, in case you missed the origin story, was founded in April 2023 by Arthur Mensch, Guillaume Lampley, and Timothy LaCroix. They've been shipping open weight checkpoints on a 6-month cadence. Mistral small codus, now Dester Venture. Money keeps flowing, but they still grant Apache licenses and push metal kernels. 4. MacBooks, that combination transparency on weights, permissive legal wrapper, and hardware. Frugality has turned them into the EU's favorite counterbalance to U.S. cloud giants. So there you have it, 3 releases, each stretching a different. Muscle Bagel lets a single decoder talk prose paint frames, reshape video, and even chart navigation steps. Claude 4 holds a conversation for hours, flipping in-house tools and leaving breadcrumb memory files, so it can resume work after lunch. Devstral shows that an open agent trained in the act of fixing real GitHub tickets can beat much larger closed models on the exact tasks developers care about, all while running on hardware you can stick under your desk. So here's what I'm wondering. Did we just see the start of AI models specializing harder than ever? Or are we heading toward one system that just does everything better? Then you drop your take in the comments. I'm reading all of them. And if you've already got one of these models running, let me know how it's holding up. If you liked this, you know what to do. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.